Welcome to today's explainer. Look, forget literally everything you thought you knew about selling a product. Seriously, toss it out. Because today, we're popping the hood and looking at the hidden psychological engine that drives, well, almost every single purchase you make.
Think about it for a second. Have you ever wondered why people will literally pitch a tent on a cold sidewalk and wait in line for hours just for a new iPhone? I mean, the new one is usually just a tiny incremental upgrade from the perfectly good phone already sitting in their pocket, right? So what's really going on there?
Or hey, how about this? Why does someone willingly, happily, even pay 500 rupees for a cup of coffee at a fancy premium cafe when that exact same beverage costs maybe 20 rupees to make at home? It's the same hot water, the same roasted beans, you get the exact same caffeine jitters. Makes no sense on paper, right? And in the digital space, it's the exact same story. Why does one content creator effortlessly rake in millions of views, while another creator, who arguably has much better, way more highly researched content, remains completely invisible? Okay, let's dive into this, because the underlying answer to all three of these scenarios is exactly the same. Here's the secret. It's not about quality. It is entirely about psychology. See, marketing isn't a battle of products at all. It's a battle for attention, for perception, and for human behavior. The businesses and creators that are actually winning out there, they aren't just selling you an item, they are actively, strategically shaping your decisions. Section 1. The Great Marketing Myth. We absolutely love to tell ourselves that we're rational, logical creatures. We claim, we read all the specs, we compare the prices, we make these cold, calculated choices. But despite what people say, most buying decisions are emotional first and logical second. You buy with your heart, and then, almost instantly, you justify it with your brain. If you want to excel in marketing, you have to understand the emotional human first.
Section 2. Selling feelings, not products.
Picture this. On one side, a 500 rupee watch. On the other side, a 5 lakh rupee watch. Here is the undeniable truth about both of them. They tell the exact same time. The utility is 100% identical. But the person buying the 5 lakh rupee watch, they aren't buying time. They're buying status, they're buying identity, recognition, and that warm feeling of success. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole point.
The most successful businesses don't focus on features, they focus on feelings. People don't buy a gym membership, they're buying the confidence they'll feel taking their shirt off at the beach, even if, let's be real, they skip leg day. They don't buy perfumes, they buy attraction. They don't buy online courses, they are buying hope for a better future. The second you realize you are selling a transformation rather than a physical product, everything completely changes. All right, Section 3, the battle for attention. Just think about your average day. Your phone buzzes with notifications, you're mindlessly scrolling Instagram, you're watching YouTube, WhatsApp messages are pinging left and right, work emails are constantly piling up, and ads are just everywhere. Marketers today are no longer competing against rival products. They are competing against an absolute, non-stop avalanche of daily distraction. To cut through all that noise, the very first skill you have to master is attention engineering. If you can't stop someone from scrolling, if you can't spark their curiosity in those critical first 3 seconds with a killer hook or headline, absolutely nothing else matters. I mean, people cannot buy what they never even notice.
Let's look at Section 4, the power of storytelling.
Remember how we said logic is secondary? Well, facts activate logic. Stories, on the other hand, activate emotions. And here's the kicker. Emotions are remembered far, far longer than dry statistics ever will be. A truly great marketer takes a boring, everyday product and weaves it into a compelling story, allowing the customer to literally see themselves inside the solution. Which leads us right into Section 5, decoding deep human desires.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that whether it's the desire for status, security, love, freedom, or belonging, literally every purchase points back to these primal roots. The greatest marketers out there simply ask 2 underlying questions. What emotion is my customer truly chasing? And conversely, what fear are they desperately trying to avoid? When you start asking these deep psychological questions, your marketing becomes exponentially easier.
And that brings us to Section 6, the ultimate marketing advantage.
I want you to really let this quote sink in for a second. The world doesn't reward value. The world rewards perceived value. It's harsh, but it's true. A brilliant idea that is poorly communicated will remain totally invisible. But an average idea that is communicated brilliantly, that will absolutely dominate a market. Perception is built entirely through how you communicate.
But
here is where so many people lose their way. They get completely obsessed with dashboards. They just sit there staring at views, clicks, likes, and conversions all day long. They let these raw numbers completely dictate their self-worth and their entire business strategy.
Look, data is important, for sure. But data only tells you what happened. Psychology tells you why it happened. Actually, scratch that. Data without psychology isn't just incomplete, it's incredibly dangerous. The best analytical thinkers in the world know how to combine creativity with hard analysis. Real explosive growth only happens when you understand the messy human behavior hiding behind those spreadsheets.
Which brings us to probably the most underrated skill in the entire marketing landscape: empathy. The ability to step out of your own shoes and truly understand how another person feels. The greatest marketers don't sit around thinking about themselves, their quotas, or their cool new product features. They focus entirely on the customer's frustrations, their deepest fears, their grandest dreams, and their daily struggles.
So the crucial point is this: marketing is not about convincing people, it's about understanding people. If you truly understand them, the selling, well, that just happens naturally. You are simply offering the perfect bridge from where they are right now to where they desperately want to be.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Products change, technology advances, social media platforms rise and fall. But human nature? It remains remarkably, surprisingly constant. So, knowing that the person who understands human nature will always have the ultimate advantage, how will you use empathy to understand your audience today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this sparked a whole new way of looking at the world around you.